what are your name and pronouns?
Okay, so I'm Tommy. My pronouns are they, she. They're in reality, they're they, them, but you know how people are.
Yes. People are like that, yes. And
yeah.
yeah. I say my all pronouns are fine. They say she. Yeah. But I mean,
but I'm just too passive aggressive.
You are still better than me. Still better than me. So how do you identify?
I identify as genderqueer, but I guess for like more details, it's like I'm a lesbian, but I'm also like either very hyper femme lesbian or like very like strange butch creature stud thing.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Okay.
That was a perfect description, honestly. Couldn't say it better myself.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can you tell me a bit about your VTuber model or persona?
Okay, well, here it is. Moving around a little bit. She's definitely unique. I've gotten a lot of unique compliments. When I was making Tommy, I wanted her obviously to be a reflection of myself. And the reason why I've always admired Gyaru, because when I was like 12, I did like a whole like presentation about Harajuku fashion. I saw Gyaru and I was like, oh, what the fuck is that? This is beautiful and amazing. Like I was very into Japanese fashion as a kid, but I didn't know how to dress that way because I was 12. Obviously, you should not honestly be gal when you're 12. And I didn't think about it until I was an adult and I was like, wait, I have adult money. I could just be Gyaru. And while I was doing that at the same time, a lot of my friends at the time, because it was still kind of like mid-pandemic, like 2022, they were like, you should like try streaming. And I was like, I don't want to be perceived. And then I learned about VTubers and I was like, oh shit, this is interesting. So when I was making her concept and design, I looked over at my plushie who was like in a little sweater, a cute little skirt. She's very old. It was an old Tommy Hilfiger lion plushie. And I was like, what if she was Gyaru? Not Kogal though. And I was like, what if I made her like super cool and something that I aspire to be? Because even though I have adult money, I can't just spend my adult money willy-nilly. So I was like, what if I can channel Gal into one like super cool, hyper feminine creature? Because I feel like as a societally perceived Black woman, you know, we are not allowed to be feminine in a certain way. And, you know, when we are allowed to be quote unquote feminine, it's like hypersexualized at the same time, which is like a big problem, I think, as being a perceived Black woman. So I was like, what if I still want to be hyper feminine? And Gyaru, and I was looking at Gyaru, and Gyaru is basically like being feminine times 100. And these girls, specifically Black women, are like celebrated for that. Because if you look at like all these like Gyaru magazines, you see like, who is it? Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, Ashanti, even Crystal K. I know she's not gal, and she's Blasian, but Crystal K, she's that girl. And they were being celebrated in a way that I had never seen before. And I was like, whoa. And so that's what I kind of incorporated into my model being, so I can still be that hyper feminine girl while also kind of being myself in a way. It's complicated, it's weird, but that's how I feel about it. And I was like, I want something that's also like very Black, if that makes sense. So I wanted curly hair, I wanted lips, I wanted, you know, I have like hoop earrings. And so
it's a very pretty model, genuinely.
Thank you.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. It was actually really hard finding a model artist, which really sucks in this day and age. I think we're getting better about it.
The curly hair, a lot of them don't know how to do curly hair.
If we go into that, that's a whole new bag of beans, baby. Because I got lucky. I think I was going through the Black VTuber tag and I was like, Rio, I want you. And so I followed them and I saved them, and I was like, I'm gonna wait for like a year-ish before I commission them so I can save the money for it. and it was honestly so worth it. They are a wonderful and talented artist, and I think because we have like a bunch of new sources for Black VTubers, I think people are like, oh, people want dark skin and curly haired models, or like natural haired models. We should do that. And so I've seen a lot more artists being more, what's the word? Just more, I guess, inclusive when it comes to things like that, which I very much appreciate. We still have a long way to go, I feel like, but I feel like I've gotten very, very lucky finding my artist parents, because I spent a very, very, very long time.
I guess like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think seeing Iron Mouse get a curly haired model kind of like encouraged me to try and see if I could get a model or like a design done that was like a, that looked a little bit more like my own curly hair IRL. So I was like, maybe I should give it a shot now that like, Tommy did it, Iron Mouse did it. I'll give it a shot. So I got a design done for funsies.
Yeah, that's really good.
And it does feel super good. Like, what the fuck?
And like, it's not just a Black issue. It really isn't. Like, there's so many people who have curly hair, and then in real life, they don't even really know how to handle their curly hair. And it's like, just use Black hair products, use mixed chicks. I don't give a damn. If it works for you, shit.
It's funny you say that, because I've had people my entire life like tell me it's not for you. You can't use that. And I'm like, no, my hair's like curly, bonnets, but okay.
Like bonnets, if you want to use bonnets, so be it. Like, I recently saw like a little white girl. She was disabled, and she had very like 4C kinky curly hair. And they were like, even her white hairstyle was like, this girl needs braids. She needs a protective style. And I think that's a very, very valid reason for her to get braids, for her to wear a bonnet. Honestly, anyone should wear a bonnet. It's good for your hair. Let's be honest here. But I think it's very cool.
I don't take good care of my curls anymore.
I'll get you a bonnet. I'll get you a cute ass bonnet. No, because bonnets are fun. Like, little hats that I sleeve, like, ooh. But I think it's cool that we have people like Iron Mouse, and even though she's still a woman of color, I think. I mean, like, also in general, Puerto Ricans,
she's Latina.
They come in different, Puerto Ricans come in different colors. Latinos come in different colors. I didn't even know that Haitians are considered Latino. I didn't know that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because they speak a romantic language, and they're in the Caribbean, or in the area where they're in Latin America.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense now that you're like saying it that way.
Brazilians are also considered Latino too.
That would make sense to me. Oddly enough, I don't know why, but to me it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I really do respect Iron Mouse for doing what she does as a woman of color, especially because I think she's like one of the most like followed women, I think, on Twitch right now.
Yeah, she is.
That's my Latinian queen. Like, girl, yes. Mi gente Latino, like, yes. That's my girl.
Yeah, you're so based for that. Oh my god, I love talking with you about this because this is actually really interesting. Sorry, but I realized you actually ended up answering like 3 of my questions.
Yeah, heck yeah, yapping, baby.
I love when you yap. It's perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so can you share some of the highs and lows of your journey being gender nonconforming in the VTubing space?
Definitely, because my model, obviously, I got fat tits. I am the epitome of hyperfeminism. I'm not feminism, hyperfemininity, which is like a choice that I did actively make. I think because I'm not really allowed that in real life. I get harassed. I mean, I still do it anyways, but you getting harassed as a woman, getting perverts. Like, I went to a con. Oof.
Oh, don't wish. Oh god.
Let me not. That's a whole new bag of beans once again.
I've had people give me hugs unsolicited at cons. Trust me, I know.
No, it's like, it's okay to say no. It really, really is. I haven't really discussed it because I know my privilege at using a very feminine model while also being basically passing as a feminine person from time to time. So I recognize my privilege in that I sound and seem like a cis woman. So, and it's also being weird being perceived as one, because like, once again, in real life, I go back and forth, but like a lot of the time I dress like Adam Sandler. And I do have like a deeper, less feminine voice. So in real life, it's like, oh, sir. And I'm like, no, you're close. But here, people are like, girl. And I usually, I'm quick to say I'm not a girl, but I'm like, wait, I'm Tommy. I'm not Tommy's owner. Let's say that. So at least in this space, I'm not Tommy's owner. So people see me as yeah, exactly. So it's like, that's a very weird experience. I think I've definitely experienced more things on the racism side rather than the gender non-conforming side. People don't seem to argue with me when I say, hey, I'm a genderqueer lesbian. Like, people are like, oh, cool. I'm not actually a fat-titted, curvy, thick. I mean, I'm thick, but I'm not actually a lion.
Wow, we're not a lion? Oh my god.
Sorry.
I was lied to.
Damn.
All right, I can't talk to you anymore. I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's over. Have a good day. Goodbye. Well, it was nice knowing you. Sorry, guys. I'm a liar. Literally, I admitted that when I was kind of discussing my quote unquote lore, aka things I make up on the spot, I was like, well, technically speaking, Tommy doesn't have genitals. Like, when her owner wished for Tommy to be Tommy, the wish machine was like, okay, that doll don't got a pussy. So, surprise! But I think it's also a funny reflection of myself because I don't really feel attached to my genitals. Also, I don't have boobs. I said that at my stream one time. I was like, in real life, I don't have boobs. I only have a fat ass. And it's hard going shopping for myself. And they're like, you don't have boobs? And I'm like, yeah. Sorry, I lied. Honestly, these things are fake anyways.
No booba.
No booba. Literally, when I asked my rigger to rig this model, I said, please do not make my boobs shake.
No booby shake, no titty shake,
no physics. And he was like, I got you. And even on, like, spoiler, on my newer model, I'm getting rigged, I actually have a setting where I can just reduce the booba, which is like very euphoric in a way.
Oh my god, my manager like suggested that kind of thing, and I was like, am I
it's like feeding into that a little bit, like, you know, like you know what I mean, like a certain like spicy interest, you know what I mean? But I don't care. I like the fact that I can just toggle my boobs. That's something I can't afford myself in real life unless like fucking like crack my ribs. But, you know, Tommy is my puppet, and if I want to do anything, I do whatever I want with this puppet. Honestly, if I had the money, I would have a boy Tommy because I can. That's what I want. But back to the question at hand, I just think, once again, I kind of have a bit of a privilege. I think being a fat person, basically, with a feminine model, I haven't really experienced anything on the gender side of the VTubing spectrum, if that makes sense. I think eventually, if I do get like a masculine model, I might be like, oh, well, it's not sexy. To me, it's sexy. The fuck?
Yeah,
it's not tight.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Like, well, also, when I designed my model, I wanted a model like I could fuck. I'm a bad bitch, so be serious. But I don't know. I'm very happy, and I think I'm very comfortable with what I have so far. So yeah.
Hell yeah. And you should be comfortable with that. It's beautiful. I love
Period.
it.
Thank you. Oh my god, thank you.
Honestly, I actually managed to stop by for your debut, and it was amazing.
Oh my god, that was.
Oh my god.
Top
it was
10
so
moments
good.
of my entire life. I cried.
I'm so glad.
I cried so many times, and I knew I was going to cry. I just didn't know how much I was going to cry, because I think I cried. I should have had a cry counter, honestly. I think I cried at least 5 times. I cried literally after I ended the stream, and my friends are all on call, so I was like, ah! They're like, oh my god, Tommy, no, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
We need a VTuber group of like we need, like, you know, scene people, we need Gyaru people, we need to have like some, you know, some Lolita in there. Like, we gotta have like a group that's just dedicated to, like, you know, like to like different like alternative fashion. Alt fashion.
No,
That's the
literally, like, if I wasn't so like fucking dying right now, I would probably do it. I think like having like a mall concept, because that's where like a lot of fashion subcultures and styles originate from. Like, you know, like emo, goth too. There's like a whole mall goth. That was the thing. Gyaru too. Like, we're centered around like shopping essentially too. And I just can't, like, right now, maybe like in 2 months, I'll be less stressed out, but I've just been very, very busy. But I think like a cool ass alt concept would be cool, because we already have Gyaru Gang, which is what I'm a part of. But like, it'd be cool
That'd be sick, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool, interesting concept, and I've talked to a lot of people who are like, yeah, like a mall concept. Like literally, I have a friend who like is like a mall mannequin from 2002. Like that's her whole thing. I think that's so unique. I've seen like a literal 2000s emo style VTuber. Like I think I like. People always say like, that the westernization of VTubing is going to be the end of VTubing, but I'm like, I've seen so many cooler and more unique concepts in the Western VTubing world that I've seen in, like, I guess the OG VTubing world. A lot of people are being more open with themselves, more, I think, non-conforming with it, and I'm like, there's so many it's just limitless, you know? I think that's so cool. Low-key, I kind of forgot the question at hand. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're good. Sorry, I literally keep getting off topic because I guess like you're so distracting. Tommy, you're so distracting. You're so interested in distracting. God damn it.
Let me just. I'm sorry. I do love to talk. That's one of my gifts.
It's okay.
That's what my mom says. I have the gift of gab.
And my mom told me that. Oh, well, she has.
No, literally, I love to call and harass my mom, and she's like, "Shut up," and I'm like, ah. Or she's like, "Get a hobby," and I'm like, "But my hobby is loving you."
My mom is a yapper. She's the yapper in the family.
No,
she yaps all damn day.
But she won't admit it. She won't admit it. And I'm like, I got it from somewhere, and it's not my stoic ass dad. So let's be honest here, mother. But I adore my mom. She likes me for the way I am, even though I'm a little freak, and I appreciate her.
Aw, that's so sweet.
She's my goat, you know?
Oh my god, that's so adorable. Sorry. So, would you say that VTubing has helped you discover more about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Because when I started my VTubing journey, at the same time, I was also experimenting with gyaru fashion, and it was so much. And I was like, oh my fucking god, like, I'm scared. Like, what is all this power at my fingertips? I was scared. And I think it's honestly helped me get in touch with my femininity. Because I told you, earlier, you know, Black women are really awarded that option to be cute, to be feminine. And it's like weird for like women to be pink for some reason as a Black woman, and I'm like, well, no, Black girls deserve to be cute. And I think Black women in alternative fashion get a lot of shit for just existing in the alternative fashion space, and it sucks. Because even before that, I was just like punk, and you know, punk literally is more than just an aesthetic. Like, you have to like have a certain lifestyle. If you're not that, you're not fucking punk. You know what I mean? And even existing as a punk person in that space was like fucking draining. And
really?
Yeah, because they're like, oh, like you deal with a lot of microaggressions, I think, when you're a Black person existing in an alternative space. For example, I haven't experienced it. Like for ravers, a lot of ravers tend to wear like locks or like braid their hair and don't understand like the roots of it. And people will be like, this is uncomfortable, but they're like, oh, but you're not being plur. And it's like, you're not being plur. Are you serious? Like,
there's not much drama in the rape community, really.
Oh my god. That's
I've only like slightly dabbled in it in like the Midwest.
No,
so,
same. No, same. It's
that's so weird. What the fuck?
It's a very weird space, and even though I haven't really fully experienced the rave aspect of it, I was a little weird ass emo kid, and even then, because I wasn't allowed to dress emo, because my mom was like, that's the devil's work, I was still like treated a certain way. I would have braids, and like, what, braids aren't emo? And I'm like, well, this is my natural hair. So like, what do you mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't straighten my hair. Putting that much heat in my hair, on my curly natural hair, is gonna damage my hair. I can't do that. I can, but I value and cherish my hair. And
oh my god, that reminds me so much of my childhood too. Fuck.
No, like you get it. And like,
well, it's because like I wasn't willing to like, you know, straighten my hair all the time, right? Because like I felt like maybe I couldn't do all the cool hairstyles everyone else could because I had curly hair. So I just dealt with it and felt bad.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think people don't realize that anti-blackness is not just applicable to black people. Like, you have curly hair, and curly hair is associated with not being white. So you get like police law for your hair. And it's the same way for, like, honestly, Indian people, anyone that has like not straight hair. It's a weird, strange experience. Same thing with colorism. Like, being dark is bad for a lot of cultures. And it's like, why? It's weird. It's a very weird thing that I don't like. Cause like, why is being brown a bad thing?
It's not, but people will make you think it is.
Exactly. And it's like, it just sucks that we have to unlearn all this just to learn like basic hair care, basic skin care, medical care. It's like, it's really interesting how that can go so deep. But damn, girl, Pookie.
Yes. Yeah.
I forgot the question.
Okay, it's okay. I got you.
What was the question? Bestie, what was the question?
Has VTubing helped you discover more about yourself?
That was the question. Back to that. Yeah. Because I said at the same time I was experimenting with Gyaru fashion, and so when I got my first model done by Ping, because I didn't want to invest in a full blown model at that point, because I just was like, that's too much for me. I was talking to my really good friend now, and they were designing my first OG design, and they were so excited because they're like, oh my god, I get to do curly hair, and they're like they're also into J fashion, but they're more into like GYK, I think like Lolita, EGL, things like that. And they're like, I've always admired Gyaru, so this is gonna be the first time like drawing Gyaru. And I was like, what exactly do you want? And I was like, shit, I don't know. and they just kind of, it was Iris. You know Iris.
I do know Iris, yeah. Actually,
Iris,
I met them through Tessa. Oh my god.
We're gonna be meeting at MomoCon. I'm so excited. Like,
That's exciting.
They're a very, very good friend of mine, and I call them my mama because they are my first mama. But I was just kind of like, you can cook. And they cooked, and I love my first design a lot. And honestly, if I had the money, I would go back to them for like a redesign of something that's more concrete Gyaru. Because since I love the design, I don't think that's what I wanted. It's still Gao in a way, but that's not exactly what I wanted. That wasn't what Tommy was. And so after a couple months of me experimenting with Gyaru in real life, because I don't know if you know this, Gyaru has a lot of sub-styles.
I did not know that. I know very vaguely about Gyaru, so yeah.
Yeah, so there's more than one way to be Gao. And so the thing is, there's Hime, there's Agajo, which are very feminine and girly and pink styles. Basically, think of like a princess. And there's something, and then there's like, when people think of Gao, they think of like Mamba.
Yeah, that's the
Ramamba.
most popular one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, that's the one that people think of.
That's the one that's like front
white
facing. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of ways to be Gao. There's like Hadi, which I think you would love because Hadi is basically Western fashion.
Ayo, okay.
Yeah, like 2010 Western fashion.
Okay,
just
okay. I'm into that. I gotta check it out.
Like a quiet aesthetic splashed over it. There's Hadi. There's Roma. There's Shiro Gyaru, which is like gals who don't tan. There's so many ways to be Gao. And so getting my first Ping design model, I was like, oh, this is like very interesting. And I was like, this is like, okay, this is like, and then I realized I'm more about Siome Gao, which is, as you can see, this is kind of like basic what it is. Siome is, or Kuro Gyaru too, basically kind of the same area, same circle, I should say. And Kuro Gyaru is more the animal prints, the big belts, lots of chains, I've noticed too, crosses. And that's how I kind of already dressed beforehand. And that's the thing when people are learning Gyaru, don't just pick a style that you're familiar with. Pick a style that you're comfortable with, something that you already have in your closet. Like, what were you wearing before, And that's how you kind of figure out like your own style of Gyaru. Because even honestly, like the more modern gals, they don't even really do sub-styles. The Gyaru make the nails, sometimes the hair, and whatever's trendy at the time. Which is like right now it's Y2K.
Is Y2K actually trending right now? I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that Y2K was trendy right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of on the it's kind of ending. I feel like right now, but I follow so many like Y2K people, and I'm like, wow, it feels like I'm literally a kid again. There's this guy that I've been following on TikTok. I forgot his name, but he does like shuffling, and he shuffles in like weird ass places. And I'm like, but he wears the most like 2000s ass outfits, and I'm like, I feel like I'm 9 again on YouTube.
As you should.
And I mean, there was like those old crappy cameras that are coming back, like Y2K. It's definitely on like the rear end. I think when your Euphoria was at its peak, that's like when like Y2K was like peaking. But I think people are kind of going back to being individualized, that if that makes sense. But I think being Tommy and existing as a woman, or being perceived as Tommy is a woman, basically. Society's perceived as a woman. And I think because growing up I wasn't really afforded that, it's really helped me be more comfortable being seen as a woman. I still am not really a woman, but I feel really comfortable with that aspect of myself. Because at one point I was like, I want to transition. I want to have my uterus removed. I don't want my ovaries. I want nothing to do with this. I want top surgery. I want to be nothing associated with a woman. And then I realized if I go on T, I'm going to look like my father. And I was like, I literally, if I wake up one morning and I look in the mirror and I see my dad, I'm going to have a mental breakdown. And so I was having that was a fun moment of my life, let's be honest. But I think doing this has really helped me realize that I'm kind of okay being perceived as a woman. And there's ways that I can still be seen as androgynous, because I have a deep voice. I do. I don't have like a Chibi Doki or Iron Mouse voice. I don't have like a little dog girls from Ho Live. I don't have a voice. I'm not willing to do a voice like that. I'm not going to do that. When I shaved my head all these years ago, people thought I was a man, and I was like, oh. So it's really not that hard to look like that. And so now that I'm doing this, streaming and being Tommy, and then also being myself in real life, I feel like I found a very comfortable middle ground where I'm able to be masculine and still feel like myself, and I'm also able to be feminine and still feel like myself. And I'm really proud of myself, because for like a while I just didn't acknowledge those egg feelings inside of me.
The egg. Oh god, I haven't heard. Mm-hmm. I learned what the egg meant recently, actually, and now I get it. Now I get it.
Yeah, and I feel like this has really cracked the egg, and now the egg is like cooking. You know what I mean? Because I feel like during the pandemic, I just didn't have time to really think about that. I was focused more on surviving because I was very, very ill, physically and mentally, and so I didn't really have time to think about my gender identity, my sexuality. And now that I'm able to do those things, it's weird. It's very weird, but I'm very, very happy being a weird gender fuck.
Gender fuck. That's the way I like to hear it.
Girl twink. I like girl twink.
Girl twink, that's a new one. I go to I sound like a twink, and I'm like, how am I a twink?
No. But also at the same time though, like girl twink, maybe that is me. Like, it's kind of a bar. Like, wait.
I said
taking that gender.
I told them I can't be a twink. I'm not a boy, and they were like, you don't gotta be a boy to be a twink. And I was like, oh, I mean, fuck.
They're right though. Like, I kind of like that. Like, that's fun to me. I don't know, but I'm just I like Tommy. Tommy really is. She really is a really big part of me in my gender identity, and I just like that she makes me feel, I mean, she is me. Tommy is me, and I'm Tommy. But also Tommy is not me. If that makes sense. But
that makes sense. I get it.
She's made me so comfortable with the idea of being feminine again. Because I have not felt that, honestly, since I was like a little girl. Like feeling euphoria, like feminine euphoria. It's weird, because even as a kid, I don't know if you know this, but going to a black church, it's a fashion event. And my mom would dress us up in these big frilly dresses. They were cute as fuck. I had drip back in the day. I was styling at church. But there are these big fluffy dresses, cute little Mary Janes, little stockings and leggings. And honestly, women weren't really allowed to wear pants in the church. I wouldn't say weren't allowed, but it was frowned upon because my grandma used to be like, why do you don't wear pants in the church? And I was like, I'm not comfortable. It's weird. Like a traditional Southern Baptist, like Black Baptist church. And so we wore like that for years until I was probably like 9, 10 maybe. And we went to like a non-denominational church and I wore that. And I was like, people were staring at me and I was like, I don't wear this to church. And they're like, no, you can wear pants and a sweater. And I was like, what? Because I wasn't very comfortable doing that when I was like older. But it's weird. I feel very happy that I can be feminine and not, and kind of be detached from woman at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's funny what VTubing does for you, huh?
Mm-hmm. My little costume.
Yeah. It'll be a bit of money sometimes, but nice thing is there's plenty of like, you know, budget options out there, and
no, literally. And especially with Gario, because people want to buy brand. Those belts are $500. Why would I buy a $500 belt that will sell for $60 back in the day? When it's actually, the scalping is crazy. That's a whole new issue at hand. When I can just buy a model for the same price. Ta-da!
Easiest shit ever. And you get to wear it all the time.
I still bought the belt, but I bought the model first, so I don't feel that bad.
Hey, don't feel bad about it.
It was a treat.
A treat, yes. You gotta treat yourself sometimes. I mean, life is hard.
Mm-hmm. It's ghetto. It's ghetto in this day and age. So that if that crappy little rusted belt's gonna give me serotonin, then I fucking will take it. I'll take it.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I have one last question for you. This one's a toughie.
Okay.
It catches everyone off guard. All right.
Oh, okay.
What would you say to somebody who was looking at VTubing as an option to being their truest self in content creation?
Oh wow. It's funny that you say that because you mentioned my debut, and I said it a lot of times, and I cried about it too, because I still kind of cry about it because it's important to me, and I bet it is probably important to you, but representation. Because I do it for those weird ass Black girls. I didn't have a weird ass Black girl to look up to as some of that group as a weird ass Black girl. Not just Black girls, but I do it for them. And because I actually, my degree's in film. So a lot of what I did in film, a lot of the stuff that I made for film was for queer Black girls, or just queer Black people in general, but mostly for like the girls. I did for the girls and the gays. And I had to fight for a lot of the films that I made because my professor was like, well, why is this about being Black? And I'm like, well, obviously you don't get it because you're an old white man. But I had to really sit and fight for the things that I wanted to make content for, make films about. And I'm the same way when it comes to streaming. I think people always you kind of think about like, why are you here? And I feel like I'm here to make people feel good. And I have 2 little cousins and they're 12 going on 13. Aww, I love them.
They're so
I
small.
adore them. I really do adore them because one of them is really, really into like stuff I was into when I was a teenager. So K-pop, anime, comics, manga, all this stuff. And she thinks I'm the coolest person ever. And I'm like, oh, God, I live with my parents still, really, girl? But she thinks I'm so cool.
Oh,
and that's what I do it for. She saw me cosplaying and she was like, to her cousin, or my cousin to her mom. And she was like, Mommy, can I do that too? And she texts me, my cousin texts me, and she was like, hey, Morgan wants to do cosplay. Can't you come to a con? And the twin was also into it, but the twin is more, she's more artsy. She likes regular stuff. And I was like, of course. And she was like, this is the best day of my life. And I was like, oh my God, I love you. And that's kind of like what I do the things that I do. I do things to make people, to bring joy, obviously. And to also make people realize that, hey, you can do this. It was hard for me, but I'm trying to make things easier for you. And the same thing with my sisters. I'm getting emotional, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Because I am the oldest of 3 sisters, so I feel like I kind of suffered for them in a way. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm not crying because I'm sad, I swear.
It's like a yeah.
I'm a sensitive bitch. I really am. But I do the things that I do for the people that I love. And I think it's good to inspire weird ass bitches like me, because I was a weird ass bitch, and it sucked that I did not have a weird bitch to look up to. Maybe I would have done weird shit later in the future. I don't know. But I guess my advice is just really honestly, don't say no. I mean, don't give in, don't say no, and don't conform. And it's funny that you asked that question because like people have recently been kind of like saying, oh, her hair is too big, you can't see the details. Oh, she's in the corner. Oh, I don't like the way that she is carrying and handling herself and her content. And I don't do this as a full-time job. End of the day, this is my hobby. And once again, if I get my dream career, I'll drop all this immediately. I'm about making that money. Okay? I'm about my bag. But honestly, if I got like a full streaming position, well,
you know.
Shit. Well, shit, I'll take it. But don't give up. If you have a weird ass concept, stick to the weird ass concept. We need more weird things. We really, really do. I like that people think that this, which is really kind of fucked up in a way, that big hair and being brown is weird. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I am a weird bitch. I just don't conform to societal expectations, whether it's beauty standards, whether it's aesthetic standards, whether it's just how you present yourself and your model. I think people kind of want to follow the traditional Japanese idol-esque way of presenting themselves, and I'm glad that Westerners are kind of coming in and doing this stuff, because I don't know, like they've definitely brought a really different vibe to the dinner, to the party that I really, really like. I think once again, like I've seen an emo VTuber based on those 2000s emo styles. I think that's so fucking cool. I've seen, people like me.
You'd love to see my partner's design. He's an emo kid that died in 2012 that's haunting your computer. That's his whole deal.
That's so, see, shit like that. There's so many ways to incorporate like this model, like this like modern things to it that like I feel like sometimes Japanese culture doesn't have the nuance for. And like VTubing really can be for anyone and everyone if you really put your heart to it, put your mind to it. Like there's a weird ass, my mutual, I forgot his username, I'm so sorry, but if you know, you know. But like he's based off of like 90s like Flash games. And like that's what the style was. And I think that's so cool that we're able just to do that, you know what I mean? And I don't know, it's a very strange feeling. I think people are starting to admire me, but like some girl added me and she was like, I'm so proud of you, keep doing stuff for like girls like me. And I was like,
that's awesome.
And I have it screenshot. I need to print it out because I want to print it out, because
print it out and frame it.
No, literally, because that's why I do these things, because it's nice being admired for being a weird person. It's nice being admired in a world where old white straight men are our peak. You know what I mean? And so it's nice that I'm so able to basically be myself. And people like that about me. It's a really weird concept. Like back to like my debut, it's a really weird concept that people are really rooting for me. As someone, because I was a weird autistic kid that was bullied and befriended, quote unquote befriended. Let's use that term loosely, to be made fun of. And I think I got lucky having like friends that liked me for the way that I was in high school, because there are people that were like, haha, you're a weird bitch, we're gonna make fun of you. And I was like, oh, you're making fun of me? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, this feels so great. Especially like in the South too. It was so much fun when they found out I was black and weird. Oh boy, baby.
And dude, totally off the record, right? Mm-hmm. I used to be made fun of, right? People used to ask me like all the time, what's wrong with your hair? Right? That's like the thing I like grew up hearing like all the time. Yeah. And I didn't understand. Like I genuinely thought there was something wrong with my hair, right? Because nobody else around me really had curly hair. And the girls that did have curly hair, if they did, they straightened it every single day so they wouldn't stand out. And I didn't know that until like high school. And so
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I guess I am a weirdo. I was like, I used to go home crying every single day. Like, Mom, is there something wrong with my hair? Like, is it because my hair is like really frizzy all the time? Like, is that what it is? Like, I don't understand. My mom has really pin straight hair. She used to like brush out my curls like crazy.
Yeah.
Just like, so, you know, imagine a big poof ball on my head. Yeah, that's what it was like. And so then it got to the point where just like I didn't want to go to school ever with my hair, and I tried to just like try to straighten it to fit in a bit, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd have people like ask to pet my hair, which is kind of weird.
Don't even get me started.
Like,
the microaggressions.
It was this one girl that was like always asking to pet my hair, and I'm just like, that is such a fucking
That's a
weird question,
baby.
I didn't even know that.
I get it to this day still, and it's like weird.
Well, she was
like,
a weirdo
I'm
in
not
school
real.
like me, right? So like I didn't understand why she would ask that. I was like, I don't.
That's
what?
a boundary, babes. Yeah.
I let her do it though because I didn't know how to say no.
No, that's how it. Literally, trust me, Bestie. I get it. I 100% get it, and I think it's weird because I don't get the compliments as much in real life because I'm a big bitch. I am a big bitch that stands on business these days. And so usually at one point I used to have like an automatic reaction. I would just hit them by accident. If someone like even in my hair,
it was an accident, officer, I swear.
No, literally. And it was weird because someone, when I like posted my model, like, oh my God, your hair's so fluffy, I want to pet it. Why? No, don't touch me. It's so gross. But I don't know, like, I feel like I'm just really happy with myself. I think something that I've learned, just about life in general, is just being content. I think because especially like in America, you know, or in the West, people want to live that American dream, and that means making it big. That means getting that house, getting that family, getting that dream job. And that's it's okay if you want to do that, but I think it's okay to be content with yourself. I want to be content, and I think I am pretty content. I wish I had more money, but I mean, who doesn't, you know? But
I mean, you can always use more money, right? Unless you're rich.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm just saying, honestly, Elon, if you like weird brown bitches,
give me some of that cash.
No, literally, shit, I would do it. Mr. Beast, hit me up. But for real though, despite me not being where a 25, 26-year-old should be in life, which is like, where should I be? I think I'm pretty happy, content where I am right now. I have friends that love me, people that support me. My parents still like me. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy, but I think people should try to be more content with what they do. Which I feel like I am. And I think doing this helped me kind of realize that I am, for the most part, content. And there's some things that, you know, I think everyone has to work on. But I am really happy doing what I do, because it's nice knowing that, like, oh, because I saw your model, I also commissioned Rio. And it's great that he's able to draw me the way that I really want to, because, whoa, like, that's like, wow, it shouldn't be hard to find an artist that can do these things. But, you know, it's hard to, you know, unlearn beauty standards, or Eurocentric beauty standards, I think. But I don't know. I am really happy. A little bit stressed out right now, but
no stress.
Vacation soon. I promise. Vacation soon.
Okay. You better. Or else.
I really no MomoCon. That's MomoCon the week following. That's my vacation. I promise.
I wish I could see you off, Kai. I'm so sad.
I haven't been to California in like years.
This is my first time in California, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
It's nice. The weather's really nice, and I feel like my mom always says I feel like I would belong in California, but I'm like, really? I don't know. But I wish I could go to Off-Kai. I think someone's doing like a Black VTuber panel.
Yes, actually, a fellow guest. Let's see. What was his name? I don't follow him.
I think it's K Sarah.
Yeah, it is K Sarah, I believe. Is it how it's spelled? K Sarah. Oh God, my brain is rotting out of my head.
I think that'll be a good step in the right direction. I think some of the mutuals are going to be at Off-Kai.
Hell yeah.
But me, I I'm just doing myself. I think it's cool that we're finally getting people like Kenji. Honestly, I think Kenji's the only one I can really think of that's like a popular, semi-famous Black VTuber, maybe infamous, I should say. Maybe even Kenji. You saw him. You saw what he said. I think he said he couldn't find anyone that could do dark skin and curly hair, and it wasn't even like that. It was just tan skin and like a little like fade that he really wanted. And
they're like, that I can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's like, really, you can't color drop from my photo of myself and just do that, huh? But I think we're slowly but surely kind of moving in the right direction. I think finding not just Black VTubers, but just gender non-conforming VTubers. Because I feel like we're always kind of forgotten when it comes to like trans rights, which is like valid and fair. I think we should put trans women at the front of things. Black trans women, they should be at the front. They are. Marsha P. Johnson, she was the girl. She was that girl. She was at the front. But so that's why I kind of tend to take a step back. And that's why honestly I was hesitant doing this, because I didn't feel like I am visibly trans enough, and that's something that also I've been kind of dealing with, because being non-binary does kind of fall under the trans umbrella, because I don't feel trans, but also I kind of am trans technically, and I think doing this and talking to other trans VTubers has kind of like helped me realize like, oh, like there's different ways to be trans, and I don't have to take tea and look like my father to be considered as such. But I also feel like I do kind of know my place in these situations, and I'm gonna obviously uplift my trans brothers and sisters and use my power as someone that once again is society perceived as a cis person, to uplift those voices, because they deserve to be seen, they deserve to be heard. Just like, as a Black queer person, they're like, oh, you need to be the front, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I think I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? When I go to Pride, it's like, oh, you should be the front because you are a Black queer person, and you don't have that viewpoint shared as often. So it's cool. Intersectionality is a very fun, silly thing that I also know too much about because I took a bunch of sociology classes in college. So yeah, this was a very fun, positive experience for me. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear. All right.
Yay.
Thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it. You had a lot of interesting things to say,
course,
and I think a lot of people are going to relate.
Yay,
Hey,
I'm really happy.
I love yappers,
really happy.
okay?
Yes.